Okay, so I'm here with part 2 of this mini album. So we created this cover, right? You remember. And so what we want to do now is I need to cover the back side of it. So I'm going to take, because I was using, the collection is the romance novel collection by Prima. I'm going to use this pink, okay? And I kind of really want this to be on the corner, so I'm going to apply it just like that. I'm going to put some hot glue because it's easy. I have it very handy here with me. And it does dry pretty fast, so you got to be pretty quick. And if you find that there's some pieces that you're missing at the end, you can go ahead and apply some more glue. It's probably not enough, but that's okay. And I'm just going to apply it like that. And I know that at least I get the piece that I want on there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my X-Acto knife and I'm going to take this mat off, otherwise you're going to cut it. And I love to use the Ingrid craft knife. It's the most amazing craft knife. Look how dirty it is. I use it so much, but it cuts like butter. So I really like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this around and then I'm going to come back. So now that I've cut this, what I want to do is sometimes when I cut, I find that I get some rough edges. So I'm just going to take my Prima tool, and sometimes I use it on very thick stuff so I get gunk in it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this rough part and I'm just going to sand it up a little bit so that the edges are nice and flush and it doesn't look weird. Okay, so that's all I'm going to do here. And I'm going to do this to all of them, all the edges, so that there's no weird pointy spots from cutting it. Alright, so I went and grabbed a doily. And so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to paste this down, and I do like it in white. I might distress it. Actually, no, you know what? I am going to distress it, and I'm going to distress it with a little bit of vintage photo. Okay, so I'm actually just going to take the pad just like so. I don't want too much on it. I kind of like the white a little bit, so I'm just going to take it like so. That's all I'm doing to it. And what's really great is that it's because it's all raised, then it'll pick up whatever is raised. All right, just like so. I really do not want too much. And then what I am going to do is I'm actually going to take a little trick. I'm going to take a little bit, a brush and a little bit of water. And if you play with it, you'll find that you can distress it a little bit. Because it's a water-based ink, then what it'll do is it'll move. So I actually really like this technique. I can already tell that this video is going to be very long with all the techniques. Okay, so all I'm doing right now is just distressing it a little bit so that it's not so dark. And what I also want to do is, now that it's a little bit, I'm going to dry it, but then what I want to do is I want to scrunch it up a little bit because I really do like the distressed doily look. So I'm going to dry it up and I'll come back right back. Okay, so now that it's nice and distressed, I'm going to go ahead and put this down. And I'm going to use my sequin tape because it's handy. All right, and what I don't want to do is I'm going to not put any glue around these edges because I like to tuck papers sometimes underneath. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave it kind of available for me to layer. Okay. All right. So I'm going to just apply it right here so that I can still see a little bit of the flower and such. And then, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to put this down and I'm going to take my X-Acto knife and you can take scissors too, and you got to be really careful because these doilies are so thin that they just rip. And you don't want it to rip off of your page because they will. Especially because I didn't glue it down all the way, remember that, right? So you got to just really watch when you're creating something like this. Okay, just like that. All right, fabulous. And so that's how it's going to turn out, okay? And so now it's like it's part of the page, but now I have the option of being able to stick stuff underneath, all right? And then what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take, I have some leftovers from when I created the cover, right? All these awesome leftovers. So I'm going to actually take this, and it says 10 things I love, and I'm going to cut this out. This line is really fabulous because it's got so many little tags and such that you can use. So I really love that. Perfect. And because this one has that, I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Otherwise I think it'll look weird. And I totally rounded it for no reason. There we go. That's much better. And so the same thing, because it's a little bit rough, I'm just going to take my sander. So this is like my favorite tool. And I kind of like that roughness. All right, perfect. I'm not sure where I'm going to put it yet, but I'm just creating embellishments right now. And the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of this piece, because I hate wasting pieces of paper. And this line is so gorgeous that I just do not want to do that. So I'm going to cut this piece out. If you guys have a chance to get this line, oh my gosh, you have to pick it up. And I know that Prima sold out of it very quickly, but I think they're releasing it twice, you guys. So try and get your hands on it. It is just fabulous. And so what I'm going to do right now, because I want it to look distressed, I'm going to show you a little trick. I want it to look like it was torn from a notebook. So I'm going to cut in between right here. All right, like that, right? And I guarantee you there should be like one right there. So I'm going to do that anyway. And right there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my distress tool and I'll bend them a little bit. Okay. So that it starts to look like it ripped out of a paper, out of the notebook. Makes sense? Look how beautiful this paper distresses. But now you can just play with it. And I like to play with my fingers too, right? So that it just looks like it was torn. Nicely distressed. All right. Makes sense, you guys? And then I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to distress the rest of it. And I might tuck it underneath here. I think I might. It's just an idea. Okay. It's probably what we'll end up doing. All right. And I'm just going to grab this piece right here. I really like it because what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a banner with it. That's what's so fun about extra little pieces, is you can create the coolest little things. And as you can see, I don't have a plan when I'm creating this. I just kind of allow the paper lines to guide me. They're so beautiful that you can just create anything. And then because it has a line in the middle already, I can create a really easy banner. I just make a slit right here and then ta-da. Perfect. And I'm probably going to do something like that on the top here. Okay. I'm probably going to make another one because I have some left over. I'm going to make a smaller one. Okay. Just like that. Usually I do this kind of stuff on Ustream, so it's kind of different for me to be doing it on YouTube. All right. So just like that. Now there's cute little banners. So we don't need to do too much more to this page. What we want to do is we maybe want to add some embellishments and some beautiful flowers. Okay, I have my towel down because I'm going to go ahead and maybe spray some flowers. I found these flowers in my stash. They're fairly old because their collection it's called the Swaney collection. And this is called Fiesta Flowers Glaze. Okay. They're awesome though, and they are old, but they come with a little pin thing that you can put in the back. So cute. Love them. They're just absolutely beautiful. And what you can do with them is you can really color them. So I'm going to use Cape Cod Coral by Lindy Stamp Gang. Such a beautiful color, and it's really light. So I really, and I can do the center a little bit darker if you get close. So that's really, really fun. I don't want too much. Okay, just like that. And I'm going to give it a quick heat set. So what I did is, as I dried it, it was still a little bit too corally, and I really wanted to pick up some of these pinks. So what I did is I used the Glitz Spritz by Lindy Stamp Gang, and it's called Sunset Pink, and it completely blends into the page now, which I absolutely love. So I'm going to apply a small amount of hot glue here, so that just in the center, so that I can keep tucking things underneath. And the whole time I'm being really conscious about the holes so that I'm not covering them, so that later I can go ahead and tie my string through. And because I want the photo here, I want to ensure that I have enough room to put the photo here. So I don't want to put any glue on this part, okay? And so I'm going to grab some more. Let me see here. So I found some of these beautiful roses, and there's a couple left, so I thought I'd just use them. And this is called Florette Collection Camille. There's 2 left. So we'll use those, and we'll give them a quick spray here with a little bit of the Sunset Pink. Just like so. Oh, now they totally blended. I love that. Love, love, love. And I love how that one's a little bit vintage. And what I'm also going to do is I'm actually going to take my distress tool with my vintage photo, and I'm going to go ahead and give them a little bit of brown edging, and that just kind of blends it all together, especially while they're still wet. It's even better. And they're not too wet. I didn't spray too much. And what you'll find with Lindy Stamp Gang, it's very misty, so it doesn't completely soak your stuff, which is so awesome when you're creating something and you just want it to be done fast. Okay, so I'm going to apply it just like so. I'm just playing. Right now I'm just playing until I find the look that I want. And I have this, I'm not putting it down until I decide, but because there's some blues and stuff in here, I'm going to use some of this from this collection. This is from the Welcome to Paris, and it's called Welcome to Paris Pearls. Pearlesque. I don't know how to say that. Okay. And I'm going to grab these cute little florets because they're little. And I'm going to tuck them in there as well. So we'll be there 1 and maybe 2. All right. Do we want 3? We'll cut 3 just in case. I'm not sure we'll use them. Maybe we'll just use 1. Who knows? All right, we'll do that. And then I'm thinking we'll need a black one in there because there's some black in there. So we want a little bit of black. And this is Welcome to Paris Silentium. These names. All right. Just like that. It'll all come together. And because there's black up here, I'm going to put black down here. And the reason I do that is because I want to balance my page. And this is kind of a distressed black, so I'm not sure. I might distress it a little bit. We'll see. But we're going to tuck it in just like so. I might not even use this one. I'm not sure. And we need leaves. That's what I can see is already missing, is leaves. Missing my leaves. All right. Just like that. I'm not sure we'll use this one. We shall see. Okay, let me grab leaves. And I have some right here. I love these. And because this is significantly darker, I'm actually going to grab my, this is called Saxifrage Olive Copper, and it's a Starburst. And it's kind of vintagey. I really like it. It's got this coppery tone to it, so I really like that. And I'm going to rip some leaves off. And these leaves are from I Am Roses, and I love them. I buy them in huge bulk packs. Okay. Okay, so I sprayed those, and they're a little bit coppery, but they're still kind of green. So I'm going to give them a quick heat set, and I'll come back. So what I'm going to do is I am going to start applying the flowers down. So I just put them in the center, right? And I tuck it underneath, and then I'm going to take this leaf and tuck it right there, right underneath. And this one. And usually I don't use a hot glue gun, to be honest, you guys, because I burn my fingers very easily. But for the purpose of this video, it's a little bit easier. And I use my Helmar 450 Quick Dry for these type of projects, because if I'm making something bulky, I know that it's not going to come off. But I completely ran out. I used a full bottle on 2 projects. I go through Helmar as if it was water. It's insane. Oh, I forgot to put leaves. Can't forget the leaves. Where'd they go? I set them off to the side. Here they are. How many of you lose stuff as you're creating? Oh man, my stuff gets buried. It's insane. And you want to be quick with this because hot glue dries really quickly, whereas when you use a liquid glue, you have a little bit of more leeway, which I really, really love. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. And I'll put this down first, just like that. And then I'm going to put this one on top. And it's a little bit easier, and I can play with it now. And I kind of want it to be tucked underneath a little bit. Underneath of the leaf, just like so. And just like that. We'll tuck that one right there. Perfect. Dry for 1 second. So I just want to show you so far, this is what we've created. Okay. And because this blue is still a little bit too stark for me, and I want it to blend, I'm going to take my vintage photo. I could have done this before, but I didn't. And I'm going to go ahead and make the leaves a little bit, or the petals, a little bit more brown. And because it's still wet, I got to watch. You want to just make sure that your glue is totally wet, or your stuff's going to move around a lot. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing to the edges of this flower. And now it really starts to blend in. Okay, just like that. Yeah. So the next thing that I'm going to do is, you remember we cut the wing out of this album, and I still want to use this paper because I didn't use this side. So now what I want is I do want to use this side. However, I really love this typewriter here, and it's going to get covered. So let me show you a trick. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to measure how far is this going to go. It's going to go to here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm already going to cut this out. I'm actually going to make a line. I'm not going to cut it perfectly. I'm going to make it around right there. Okay. Fabulous. And I'm still going to use this piece, okay? Don't fret. It'll look really, really neat. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually not going to paste this down first. I'm going to cut around, and I'll be right back, and I'll show you this little trick. Alright, so what I've done is I've cut this out, and so I haven't pasted it down, as you can see. And so what I'm going to do is, with my fingers, I can go ahead actually and take this guy and make a little slit right here. Okay, just like so. Or you can rip it, so you can do either way. Okay, and you can open it up. And now you see a little bit of the typewriter, right? Just like that. And then you're going to apply it like this. But what you're going to do is you're going to actually put your typewriter right there so that you actually do see it, and you can put it up to wherever you want, maybe right there, just like that. Okay, and you can go ahead and paste this down, and then you're going to cut around the edges so you'll see the typewriter really, really nicely. Okay. And you can rip it. Ripping it looks really, really nice too. You can rip it all the way to the end, whatever you want. So I'm going to do that and come right back. Okay, so here we go. Now what I've done is I've only actually glued it up to here, as you can see, because what I want is I'm actually going to create this as a pocket. So what I want to do now is I'm actually going just to glue the edges up to here. So I'm going to take my hot glue gun, and I'm just going to be very careful to do the edges. I think it's up to about here. Yep, perfect. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Oh, I just got hot glue gun on myself. See, I burned myself. I'm really bad, you guys. I am absolutely, oops, I think I did it too far. I'm absolutely horrible about burning myself, so I don't like to use it all that often. Okay. And as you can see, I have a little bit of rough edges. I'm not sure you can see actually that close, but you can see it's kind of rough, but that's okay. I'm going to take my sander again, and I'm going to kind of play with it. And so now you have the opportunity to kind of roll your paper a little bit and play with it, but we'll be embellishing it, so it's not a big deal. And what's really great about this this paper line and that it's got tags everywhere. So I could use this one. I could use this one. I'm not quite sure. I think there's some other ones here which I'm actually going to use. So let me pull these up. These are really, really cute, and because it's got a typewriter, I'm going to take this one and cut that one out because I really, really like that. So I found this paper, which I love. This one's called Time Travel, right? And it's still from the same collection, but it's got the most awesome little envelope. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that out, and I'm going to distress it as well. I'm going to cut that out, put it together, and come right back. So once you've cut it out, you can go ahead, look at the inside, isn't that gorgeous? So you can go ahead and fold it, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of glue right here, okay, and close it up right there. And I want to ensure that there's no glue seeping through so that whenever I stick my tag in, that it's not going to stick. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply glue right there on the flap, and I'm going to do it right on the edge so that the envelope closes really nicely. And I'm going to do the same thing right on the edge there. Oops. As you can tell, I'm not the swiftest person with a hot glue gun. That's why I need liquid glue. And it's drying on me. Yikes. Alright, there we go. Okay, so that's my little envelope. And I'm going to close this up before it dries out on me. And I did distress it a little bit with Vintage Photo. And what's really cute is that it says Telegram on it, okay? And so now what I'm going to take is, I'm going to take, in the paper, there was these cute little postage stamps. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put one here, and I'm going to Velcro it down so that when I open it up, I can pull out the little tags. So let me just grab the Velcro. So I want to show you, I buy these Velcro pieces at the dollar store, okay? And there's 16 of them. And I keep them because I love them for mini albums. And see, I cut them up, which is really, really great. Excuse me. And I'm going to apply one right here on the back of it. Let me see. Yep, I'm going to apply one right there. Okay. Just like so. I just want to ensure that it's covering it. Okay, and then I'm going to take the next piece, which is the other, where did it go? Just got stuck to the other side. And then what I do, I always do this, is I actually apply it to the piece so that it's perfectly aligned. Does that make sense? And then I go ahead and apply it like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a piece of hot glue right there, right? So that it actually sticks to the envelope. As some seeps through. Take that off with my nails. Okay. Just wait for it to dry before I rip it off. And then, ta-da! And now you have a cute little Velcroed piece, okay, and you can open the telegram. So because this paper line has so many little envelopes, or so many tags, I'm going to take this one, because I know it fits, and I'm going to cut it through. Alright, perfect. And then, so I go ahead and distress this with my distress tool. And then I can go ahead and now stick this inside my telegram. Okay? So that's where it sleeps. And so I'm going to go ahead and put this down. And I'm just going to put it down with one little bit right there. All the way there, because I actually want this to open up a little bit more. Okay? Just like so. Alright. Perfect, perfect, perfect. And now I can go ahead and either slide a picture, or I really like this guy, and it says personal telegram. So I like that because I know that I can actually put a photo, or I can put journaling on there as well. So that's really great. So I'm going to take that. And I'm going to do the same thing I had done previously and cut this up because I really love that look. Okay, and then I'm going to take this tool and just dress it up a little bit. All right. Not too much, and then take my Distress ink. And now I can go ahead and stick this through, and there's plenty of room still for my holes to go through. All right, and I can pull this out, and look how beautiful that tag is. So that's what I'm going to do there, and I actually like it slightly more distressed, so I'm going to do that. Just like so. I might want to paste this down a little bit because I can see it's popping out, and I don't like that. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, just like so. So you can do that with yours if that's what you're creating. All right, and this just pops right out.